Have you ever been so close to something, yet so far? Well, that's been the story of Jayson Tatum's entire NBA career. And if you can read a title, then I guess you know what we're going to be talking about today, so I won't really have to go into too much detail there. But before we get on with the video, how about taking a quick pause to smash that like button while clicking subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of the newest videos. Anyway, let's get back to it. Ever since Jayson Tatum was selected with the 3rd pick in the 2017 NBA draft, it seems as though he's put this curse on the Celtics, where they just have unsuccessful playoff run after playoff run. Which is just so unfortunate because I really loved Tatum coming out of Duke. And as a Lakers fan, I wanted him on the team so badly at the time. But we all know what happened there. You know, we had Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball struggles. We move on. Besides the point. Anyway. Now, I don't know if it's Tatum's fault that the team can't finish in the playoffs. But what I do know that at this point, it's probably just an organizational issue if we're being honest. Though, since he's been drafted by the Celtics, they've gone ahead and lost once in the first round, twice in the semi-conference finals, and twice in the Eastern Conference finals, which is just mind-boggling at this point. Let's not ignore the fact that Tatum's never missed a playoff. I mean, so very few players do that. And that's not something to take for granted because it took fellow first-teamer Devin Booker 6 years to reach that accomplishment. So making the playoffs is a big deal. And if the problem is not making the playoffs, then is it him individually? Well, I don't think so because nearly every year the stats show that his points, assists, and rebounds always increase in the postseason. I mean, individually, Brody's pretty clutch.
Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror.
So, if it's not a him problem, then that means it's a team problem, you feel me? And so, what I see are 2 different solutions to this problem. 1, Tatum goes ahead and demands that the organization put new pieces around him because what they have right now just isn't good enough. And in this instance, I see the likes of a Jaylen Brown and Al Horford being moved/released, with the only major pieces staying around being, I don't know, Marcus Smart. Honestly, I don't know how much a 35-year-old Al Horford would get you, but in this scenario, I think that Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams, and a pick could bring in an all-star type of talent like Karl-Anthony Towns, who could be partnered with Tatum. I know, it sounds crazy, but what this trade does is build out the front court for the Timberwolves, since they have 2 prominent guards in Edwards and D'Lo. And because they can move Jaylen Brown to the 3 and Grant Williams to the 5, they've basically got a starting roster right there. While Boston gets an all-NBA type of player to play down low for them. You feel me? Like, this is really good for both teams. Now, onto the second option, which is slightly more unrealistic, where Tatum tells the Celtics that he's done with the franchise and he wants to be traded. Where to, you might be asking? Well, if Tatum pulls a Ben Simmons and essentially forces the trade to happen, then I could see the Celtics shipping him out to a team on the other side of the country. Not really though. In the New Orleans Pelicans. Yes, the Pelicans. Because I can see a possible swap occurring in which Tatum heads down south and they bring back up a young superstar, potentially, in Zion Williamson, with a few minor additions on both sides of the deal that aren't really worth mentioning. I don't really want to get into it, Anyway, why would the Pelicans ever give Zion to another team, you may be asking? I've got a very simple answer, and it's because what happened with AD is the same thing that's occurring with Williamson right now. Plus, this is honestly a win-win type of deal for both sides, where one side, aka Boston, gets a high-risk/high reward player in Zion. With Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart still being on the roster, it's like Zion doesn't need to be pressured to carry the squad immediately. In fact, Jaylen Brown could take over the offensive duties and lead the team offensively, while Marcus Smart locks it down on defense. So Zion doesn't really have to do much other than develop and become that star he was supposed to be coming out of college. While on the other side of it, Tatum speeds up the Pelicans' plans for success by like 2 to 3 years and makes them contenders almost immediately. Especially since Tatum and BI would be a nasty duo at the forwards position. Honestly though, who knows what the future holds for the Boston Celtics? What I do know is that the road ahead isn't going to be easy, that's for sure.